Turning to an op-ed from the Hill titled "Obama's Silent Regulatory Army is Still on the March." Joining us now is Turner Point USA founder Charlie Kirk. You know, Charlie, we've heard over and over again how the embedded bureaucrats, particularly those assigned to their jobs during the Obama administration, has befuddled President Trump in all his efforts from, getting folks cleared for new jobs, getting new rules in place. They've just been these roadblocks or speed bumps, but they've been effective.
That's right. And, that's kind of this silent army is what I call it. They're unelected, they're unknown, and they're completely and totally unaccountable. Primarily through the Federal Trade Commission, you have these bureaucrats that are still continuing what was called Operation Choke Point, going after a lot of different, particularly payment processors, which are, by the way, the backbone of the American economy. People, really take for granted that there's a collection of a couple hundred companies that do all the payment processing. Essentially, they act as the middleman between the merchants and the vendors and the customers. And what Obama really did is he targeted these industries, I think, unethically and unconstitutionally. The president rightfully ended this back in August, but there's evidence to suggest that this unelected, unknown, and unaccountable army of regulators are still going after the backbone of American business. And so this is the deep state that you and I always talk about, and it has great worries for whether or not, the economy continue to grow. And look, we're going to compete ourselves out of the world market with our own regulation that most people don't even realize exists.
Is this just sort of part of the social justice narrative that, large businesses, banks, processors have taken advantage of Main Street and somehow they've got to be brought to their knees, although we've never learned how that actually helps the average American?
Yeah, exactly right, Charles. And look, let's just play a game. Let's pretend all the payment processors decided to close their doors overnight. That would shut down the American economy instantaneously. Uber, Amazon, Netflix, anything that young people use credit cards for, it would totally shut off. And what the FTC is doing is they are going after these payment processors. They're not saying you're breaking the law, but they're probing with regulation, which adds tens of millions of legal liability and costs, which rises the cost of doing business. And it's shut down business all across the country. And so my recommendation to the president is you have to investigate the Federal Trade Commission. There's unbelievable amount of inquiries happening on the basis level of payment processors and banks. And Charles, you and I both know just because someone gets rich doesn't mean someone gets poor. It's fundamental that we protect the basis of the American economy, and this silent regulatory army is held accountable. Because, look, we can't vote these guys out. No one even knows who these people are. We can vote our congressman or our senator, but we can't vote out the regulators. It's what I call the fourth branch of government. It's extremely dangerous.
They find a way to burrow in there and survive administration after administration after administration. Charlie, what can the president do? You talked about an investigation, but what about the new head of the FTC, or is there one? Or how do you break this cycle?
So there's just been a new head put in, Simons, which is great. He's going to hopefully investigate a lot of this. But people close to President Obama will tell you that this was one of his focal points. It was Obamacare and the Federal Trade Commission, because if you're able to grow the bureaucratic administrative state, with that, you're able to penalize businesses of which you disagree. And if we're perfectly honest, it's payment processors that are predominantly conservative Republicans. And so if you're able to go after these types of businesses, you can have a political benefit. So I think what needs to happen is Congress needs to pass a bill that allows the President of the United States with force to go after these sort of agencies, have at-will termination of government employees, audit their behavior, and protect the backbone of the American economy.
Charlie, where else are you seeing this? Because this is not the only agency that we've seen this.
Well, the EPA and Scott Pruitt has done a great job of helping reform it. I call the EPA the Employment Prevention Agency, where you had like a little puddle in the back of your yard, and all of a sudden you have to register with some federal bureaucrat or federal authority. But this is all across the federal government. Now, mind you, we have over 2 million full-time employees where their daily job is to create liabilities, not assets. They go after American business people, after American entrepreneurs. We cannot expect to compete globally if we have our own tax dollars working against those that pay taxes.
Charlie Kirk, thank you very much. Very insightful stuff. Appreciate it.